Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol Ped, and welcome to this week's Midweek 180. Well, I am in the corner of a hotel room again. I'm away just tonight. I'm actually in Wales, and I will tell you more about what I'm doing in Wales very shortly. But I had to bring you my Midweek 180, even though it is actually very late on Tuesday night, because I've had a super busy day today, and I'm filming all day tomorrow, so I had to film it tonight. And I'm now going to edit it and upload it and make sure it's ready to go at 6 o'clock tomorrow. But I couldn't not bring you my Midweek 180, my midweek update where I bring you my news, views and information about upcoming reviews, all filmed in one take. So I'm going to put 180 seconds in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. And that's it, a very simple format. So without further ado, let's get cracking with this week's Midweek 180. Glasses on, timer on. Let's go. So last week's leader of the pack was Rod Matheson. Well done, Rod. I think that is your first leader of the pack, so congratulations on that one. Joined in the Magnificent Seven by Leanne Jackson, Malcolm Brew, Jake Warren, Greg Matthews, Paul Murphy and Paul Coles. So whoever was the first comment this week, you'll be my leader of the pack next week, and the first 7 comments will be in my Magnificent Seven. Where are you and what you're doing? Well, that was Simon A, who was sat in Kulikara in Mali. Now, I don't think I've ever had anybody from or in Mali before on a Where Are You and What You're Doing. But wherever you are right now and whatever you're doing, put it in the comments below and I'll give you a shout out next week. Now, last week's question was about if any of you had modified cars, and if you had, what, and if you hadn't, why. The main reason that people didn't modify cars, I think, was a lot to do with warranty, which is a fair and valid point. This week's question is basically spurred on by Monday's video. Hopefully you've seen that. Have you ever broken a car doing something silly in a car? Now, I broke a 595 Essa Abarth at a press do last week. Tune into Monday's video. I'll put a card above right now if you haven't seen that already. But yeah, when I was a very young driver, I jumped my father's Peugeot 309 over a humpback bridge and ripped the sump off of it. But have you ever broken a car doing something silly? F1 this weekend is at Singapore. One of my favourite races. I love night races. I think the cars look really, really cool and beautiful under the lights. I think Max could wrap up the championship, but news from Williams, Nicholas Latifi is leaving them at the end of this year, so I'll be interested to see who fills his spot. And also they've announced that they're doubling the number of sprint races next year to 6, so there will be 6 sprint races, although I don't think sprint races have really delivered what they promised that they would do. New car news, I want to talk briefly about this. So these are the new leaked images of the new BMW M2. All I'm going to say, I'm not a big fan of the rear of that car. I don't think it looks great at all, but actually I wanted to talk about the dilemma of when someone like me, a YouTuber or a content creator, sees a leaked image, whether they post it or not, and whether they push it out or not. And I think it's very much to do with timing, how close you are to the brand and so on. I think this has been out on the internet long enough now to not really upset anybody, but it is really difficult. These brands spend a lot of money trying to keep stuff under wraps. So when someone gets a camera in the wrong place and gets a picture and puts it out there, it's very difficult for them and quite difficult for us to know whether we should share it or not. But I have to say, sorry BMW, not a big fan of the rear of the car. I'm sure it would be an awesome car to drive. This weekend is not going to go on YouTube, but it will be on my social media channels. Me and Mrs. Petrol Ped are actually going to go and spend the weekend with Wim Hof. So I don't know if any of you watched the Feel the Fear program with Wim Hof, the dude that gets people to jump in ice baths and does breathing exercises and stuff. We are so excited about spending a weekend with Wim Hof, learning all about his different techniques. And this Friday at 6, it's a drag race, people. Yes, finally, I've got. So yeah, Wim Hof. I can't wait to spend some time with him. But yes, this Friday at 6, I finally managed to do a drag race. I've done one drag race in the past. I did a drag race with Steph ABTV. A couple of years ago now. I was in Ruby Roadster. He was in his 4C Alpha at the time. We had some time on a runway and we did a quick drag race. This is a proper drag race. So I went up to see the guys from REVO. Hopefully now you've watched the video I did on their Stage 2 Mark IV Focus ST. I'll put a card above if you haven't seen that one. But while I was there, I also did a film with their Stage 2 Audi S4, a B9 S4. And I took with me the new RS4. And we got on a runway and we did some really, really cool drag races. We basically did standing start quarter mile, rolling start quarter mile, and 0 to 60 tests between a stock RS4 a stock B9 S4, so that's the petrol S4, and then that S4 with a stage 2 map running over 500 horsepower, and the results were really, really interesting. And the premise of the video is, if you can't, the new S4 is a diesel, so basically the thought is if you go back to the B9 model, you could buy the petrol S4, put a stage 2 map on it for a couple of £1,000, and then you've basically got RS4 performance for a car probably half the price. Is that the case? Is that what will actually happen? And that is what Friday's video is all about. I found it very interesting to film. To having access to a private runway for the morning was super cool, and I really hope you enjoy the video, and I hope it does well. I'd love to do more. I'd love to find out if you actually like that format of video as well. I know it does really well on other types of channels, but I've never really done one before. But that is Friday at 6. A drag race. RS4 versus stock S4 versus stage 2 S4. There we go. Anyway, yes, so as I said, I'm up here visiting the guys from MSRT. I'm in my limited edition Ford Ranger. So I'm filming with MSRT all day tomorrow. They're going to fit a roller blind and also a couple of other trick bits to the Ford Ranger because I'm loving living with that car. It's such a cool car, but there are a few little things I just wanted to kind of finesse with the car to make it more usable, and that's what we're doing tomorrow. So there'll be a video coming on that very, very soon. So it should be a good day's filming, but I'm going to love you and leave you. I've got to edit this and then I need to get to sleep, so I'm so tired. But I shall see you on the next one, which is this Friday at 6 for a drag race. RS4 versus stock S4 versus stage 2 S4. It's a good one. Don't miss it. I'll see you on that film. You take care, guys. Drive safe.